Welcome back to our channel, Soap fans. Today is an absolutely beautiful day to dive headfirst into the magnificent madness brewing in Port Charles. We have exclusive, jaw-dropping spoilers that will leave you gasping for air and begging for more. Grab your seats and brace yourselves, because we are getting straight into the explosive, high-stakes drama. The July 13 episode of General Hospital is about to detonate a series of catastrophic truth bombs across Port Charles. Harrison Chase is finally putting the puzzle pieces together, and he is aiming his intense police interrogation spotlight directly at his own wife. But that is just the tip of the iceberg today. The Spencer women are going to war in a spectacular kitchen showdown. A sinister WSB medical fraud is on the verge of total exposure, and fractured minds are colliding in the most dangerous ways imaginable. We start the dramatic countdown in Carly Spencer's kitchen, which is about to transform into a high-stakes, ruthless battleground. Lulu has officially tracked down her cousin, and she is not knocking politely. Lulu kicks the door wide open on Carly's darkest secrets, storming into the house with absolute righteous fury radiating from every single pore. The tension in the room is thick enough to cut with a knife as Lulu aggressively corners Carly, demanding immediate, unfiltered answers about the dangerous fugitive she has been secretly harboring for months. Lulu is seeing red, and her primary target is the shocking, scandalous romance between Carly and Valentine Cassadine. Lulu aggressively demands to know exactly what Carly offered the lethal Cassadine in return for his loyalty and his hidden presence in her attic. Carly, never one to back down from a fight or cower in the face of judgment, immediately bristles at the intense interrogation. Carly looks intensely irritated, her eyes flashing with that signature defensive fire as she squares off against her nosy, furious cousin. Carly fiercely defends her position, throwing the venomous accusations right back into Lulu's face with maximum force. From Carly's perspective, she and Valentine are both single, unattached adults who formed an unbreakable bond in the trenches of a high-stakes revenge plot against Jack Brennan. Carly practically snarls at Lulu, demanding to know what business it is of hers to dictate who Carly can and cannot invite into her own home and her own bed. The volume in the luxurious kitchen skyrockets as these two fierce Spencer women clash in a spectacular, screaming showdown that threatens to tear the family apart. Both women absolutely refuse to yield an inch of ground, each vehemently claiming the moral high ground while viciously tearing the other down. The screaming match reaches a fever pitch, echoing through the halls of the house with devastating intensity. But just as Lulu is about to deliver another venomous, calculated blow, the spoilers tease a massive, game-changing interruption. Valentine Cassadine himself might just walk right into the crossfire. If Valentine steps into the kitchen to intervene and protect Carly, this two-way war will instantly become a catastrophic three-way standoff that could end in absolute disaster. Meanwhile, the stakes are equally life and death over at General Hospital, where Jocelyn Jacks is still confined to her sterile hospital bed. Jocelyn is recovering from the brutal, agonizing gunshot wound she sustained during the horrifying Windermere showdown, but her sharp mind is already 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Jocelyn is no longer just a privileged college student. She has transformed into a hardened, ruthless WSB asset who just struck a massive, history-making deal with Director Z. And now, she is using her hospital room as a strategic command center for her next bold, dangerous move. A mysterious visitor steps into Jocelyn's hospital room, completely shifting the energy in the clinical environment. Jocelyn looks up from her pillows, and her hardened expression softens into something deeply intimate, urgent, and highly secretive. She looks this unknown visitor dead in the eye and asks for a massive, potentially dangerous favor. Jocelyn tells this person that there is exactly one thing they can do for her right now, and the sheer intensity of her request suggests that the fallout will be absolutely monumental for everyone involved in her orbit. The true identity of this visitor remains a fiercely guarded secret, but the dramatic spoilers hint at someone Jocelyn feels incredibly close to on a personal level. Could it be an old trusted friend stepping up to the plate? Or perhaps a former lover returning to share some precious, heartbreaking memories before diving back into the danger zone? With Agent Vaughn currently out of the picture, this visitor holds the absolute key to Jocelyn's immediate future. Whoever it is, they are about to be dragged kicking and screaming into Jocelyn's dangerous new world of espionage, lethal secrets, and high-stakes WSB warfare. Across town, a completely different kind of psychological warfare is erupting inside Anna Devane's usually pristine condo. Anna has just returned to Port Charles, but her brilliant mind is still a fractured, traumatized war zone. Liesl Obrecht shows up at Anna's door, desperate for immediate help, but she walks into an absolute, chilling nightmare. Anna does not greet Liesl with open arms or professional courtesy. Instead, Anna aggressively points her finger right in Liesel's face, her eyes wild with suspicion and deeply rooted, terrifying paranoia. Liesel is completely taken aback by the sheer, unadulterated hostility radiating from the former police commissioner. Liesel urgently needs Anna's top-tier assistance with a critical, life-altering matter, but Anna is having a bizarre, terrifying reaction to Liesel's physical presence in her home. Anna's time in the French mental health facility clearly did not cure her inner demons. It merely masked them for the journey home. Now, Anna is demanding absolute, undeniable proof that the woman standing in front of her is actually real, and not just another twisted, manipulative figment of her shattered imagination. GH fans know exactly why Anna is spiraling out of control in this heartbreaking scene. During her hellish, drug-induced captivity in the secret compound beneath Windermere, Anna vividly hallucinated Liesel coming to her cell to perform a phlebotomy for a fake blood disease. The severe gaslighting and psychological torture inflicted by Ross Cullum and Jen Sidwell have left Anna completely unable to trust her own eyes or her own memories. Anna screams at Liesel, demanding she provide tangible, physical evidence that she is flesh and blood before Anna makes a catastrophic, deadly mistake in the name of self-defense. The tension is equally suffocating over at the luxurious Kane house, where a massive, sinister medical fraud is on the verge of being blown wide open. Willow Kane and Nina Reeves are engaged in a tense, hushed, highly secretive conversation with the dangerous Jack Brennan when the doorbell unexpectedly rings. To their absolute, paralyzed horror, Elizabeth Baldwin steps into the room. Elizabeth is sharp, highly observant, and she has been doing some serious, relentless detective work regarding the bizarre medical anomalies happening right under the hospital's nose. Elizabeth's sudden arrival sends an immediate, terrifying spike of panic through Willow and Nina. Elizabeth has just come from a deep, analytical conversation with a severely hungover Lucas Jones, where they fiercely debated the strange, medically impossible circumstances surrounding Jack Brennan's miraculous recovery from a locked-in stroke. Elizabeth looks directly at a perturbed, sweating Willow and a crestfallen, terrified Nina, dropping a massive bombshell that makes the blood freeze in their veins. The undeniable truth is finally closing in on Willow's darkest, most desperate secret. Elizabeth boldly announces exactly why she has crashed their private, sinister meeting. She looks at the guilty trio and declares, with absolute, unwavering conviction, that there might be a direct medical connection between what happened to Chief Brennan and what is currently happening to Drew Kane. The silence in the room is deafening and heavy with impending doom. Brennan is standing right there, fully aware of the explosive, criminal truth. Willow has been ruthlessly dosing her own husband with a black market paralytic drug that perfectly mimics a stroke and locked-in syndrome to keep him permanently silenced. Brennan only suffered one accidental jab of the paralytic, which perfectly explains his rapid, miraculous recovery that has the hospital staff so baffled. But Drew Kane has been subjected to months of continuous, agonizing, illegal dosing at the hands of his own wife. Brennan holds all the cards in this twisted game, and he is watching Willow sweat bullets as Elizabeth masterfully connects the dots. Will Elizabeth's sharp nursing instincts finally expose Willow's horrifying crimes? If Liz figures out the paralytic's secret, Willow is going straight to Pentonville, and the entire Kane family legacy will be destroyed forever. Finally, we reach the most explosive, heart-stopping confrontation of the entire episode. Harrison Chase has been relentlessly investigating the brutal hit-and-run accident that nearly killed Jordan and Curtis Ashford. Chase recently had a highly revealing, disastrous conversation with Lucy Coe, and because Lucy is an absolutely terrible liar, her nonsensical cover story completely fell apart under Chase's intense, seasoned police interrogation. Now, Chase has all the ammunition he needs, and he is aiming it directly at the woman he loves. Chase tracks down Brooklyn Quartermain, completely shattering whatever fragile piece she thought she had secured. Brooklyn has been desperately trying to frame Willow for the hit and run, hoping to destroy Willow's angelic reputation and permanently turn Chase against his former flame. But Brooklyn's sinister, manipulative scheme is spectacularly backfiring in real time. Chase corners his wife, his police instincts fully activated, and he absolutely refuses to let her squirm her way out of this catastrophic, marriage-ending mess. The air is completely sucked out of the room as Chase steps into Brooklyn's personal space, radiating authority and deep betrayal. He looks a highly uncomfortable, visibly panicked Brooklyn directly in the eyes. The suspicion and heartbreak are radiating from his intense glare, burning a hole right through her defenses. Chase does not beat around the bush. He goes straight for the jugular with lethal precision. With a voice dripping with authority and sorrow, Chase demands the absolute truth. He asks the ultimate devastating question. Were you the one that framed Willow? Brooklyn is completely frozen, her entire world collapsing around her in a matter of agonizing seconds. Her desperate attempt to manipulate the GPS logs and use Lucy Coe as a human shield has led her straight into an impenetrable brick wall. If Brooklyn confesses to framing Willow, she also has to confess to being the actual driver who fled the scene of the horrific crash. Chase is demanding answers, and the clock has officially run out on her deception. Will Brooklyn finally admit to her unforgivable crimes, or will she double down on her venomous lies and destroy her marriage forever?